Welcome to U.S. Immigration TV. Well, there's a saying that some things last forever. Well, one of those things is immigration fraud. In this video, I will discuss that even if you committed immigration fraud years and years ago, it could still come back to haunt you. I'll also discuss if there is anything you can do to clear your name. Now, a little bit of history. Before 1996, if a person committed fraud, such as trying to enter the U.S. under an assumed name, submitting fake or bogus documents like land titles or diplomas, the fraud was erased from their record after 10 years. But in 1996, then President Clinton signed a law that provided that fraud stays on a person's record forever. That means even if a person committed fraud many, many years ago, back in the 90s, such as applying for a visitor visa under a different name, that fraud will still come back to haunt them years later when they apply for an immigrant visa. Now, I've had many cases where a person was petitioned, let's say, by a parent, a brother, sister, or even a spouse, only to have the visa refused because many years ago, they had been charged with fraud. Now, even if you fail to disclose the fraud on your new forms, let's say when they ask, have you ever committed fraud, and you check the no box, the USCIS or the embassy will likely still have a record of that fraud. Now, in most cases, when a person is caught with fraud, remember, they're fingerprinted and photographed, even under an assumed name. And when they go back and apply for a new immigration benefit, again, they are fingerprinted and photographed, and of course, a match on the fingerprints will pop up in the government's computers documenting the fact that they had committed fraud. And in fact, failing to disclose a past fraud could constitute a brand new fraud. Now, arguing that you forgot about the past fraud because it happened so many years ago is really not an excuse. Now, even if you committed fraud, there still could be hope if you are eligible to apply for a fraud waiver. Now, to be eligible, you have to have a parent or a spouse who is a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident, called a qualifying relative. Note, a child, a U.S. citizen child, is not a qualifying relative. Now, then you would also have to demonstrate that your qualifying relative would suffer extreme hardship if you were not granted your green card or immigrant visa. Now, if you have fraud on your record, I would strongly advise that you consult with an attorney who can evaluate your situation and determine the best course of action, including assisting in the preparation of a fraud waiver if you are eligible. Now, I hope you have found this video informative, maybe for yourself or perhaps someone you know, because many people have committed fraud and it is on their record. So therefore, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. I'm Michael Gurfinkel, and thank you for watching U.S. Immigration TV.